Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have criticised an online petition ahead of their trip to Australia next month. Should not be taxpayer funded. A spokesperson for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex responded saying the trip is being privately funded.
Something big is unfolding and almost nobody saw it coming. Australia, the same country that once rolled out the red carpet for Meghan with cheering crowds and flashing cameras, is now sending a completely different message, and it's loud. A petition is spreading fast across the nation, stacking up tens of thousands of signatures, and the message aimed at the Duke and Duchess of Sussex couldn't be clearer. You are not welcome here. And it doesn't stop there. People are also making one thing very clear. They don't want to pay for any part of this visit. This isn't just a small group of critics typing online late at night. This is a nationwide wave of frustration that's growing stronger by the day, shaking the image Harry and Meghan have worked so hard to build. So what happened? How did a couple once celebrated as the fresh, modern face of the monarchy fall into this level of public rejection so quickly? And what does this mean for everything they've been trying to create since stepping away from royal life? Stay locked in, because this story takes a turn that changes everything. Not long ago, the situation looked completely different. Back in 2018, when Harry and Meghan arrived in Australia, the energy was unreal. Crowds packed the streets, people were excited, cameras were everywhere. It felt like a major moment. They weren't just another royal couple, they were seen as something new, something different, something full of promise. Australia embraced them in a way that felt real and genuine. There was excitement, curiosity, and even hope tied to what they represented. But now, that same country is pushing back hard with a petition demanding that no public support be given to their upcoming visit. So what changed between that warm welcome and this cold rejection? The answer isn't simple, but it's powerful. Right now, tens of thousands of Australians have signed on to this movement, and the number keeps climbing. The demand is focused and direct. No taxpayer money should be used for anything connected to Harry and Meghan's trip. That means no security costs, no logistics, no support at all. To their credit, a spokesperson for the couple responded quickly, saying the visit will be privately funded. But here's where things get complicated. That response didn't calm people down. It actually raised even more questions. If the trip is fully private, then what exactly is it for? Why does it feel less like a royal visit and more like something else entirely? That question is where things start to get really intense. At the center of the public frustration is something that feels personal to everyday Australians. Right now, many families are dealing with serious financial pressure. The cost of living is rising, budgets are tight, and people are being forced to make tough decisions just to get by. So when there's even a hint that public money could be used for a visit tied to a couple who stepped away from royal duties to build their own financial path, it hits a nerve. And here's the key point. This isn't just about people disliking Harry and Meghan. Many signing the petition have made that clear. The anger is about fairness. It's about principle. It's about the feeling that you can't walk away from royal responsibilities, but still benefit from the system when it suits you. That contradiction is becoming harder for the public to ignore, and it's turning frustration into something much stronger. Now the details get even more uncomfortable. Reports suggest that many of the events connected to this visit aren't public at all. They're not open community gatherings, not charity-focused appearances, not events designed to give back. Instead, they're being described as private speaking engagements and exclusive commercial events, the kind where access is limited, tickets are expensive, and guest lists are carefully controlled. For many Australians, this changes everything. It makes the trip look less like a meaningful visit and more like a business move, a way to promote the Sussex brand rather than connect with the public. And that realization is what's turning frustration into real resentment. But this situation isn't just staying within Australia. It's echoing all the way back to the UK and even inside royal circles. According to multiple reports, there's growing discomfort behind palace doors about how this visit is being perceived. And it's not just about appearances, it goes deeper than that. The concern is that Harry and Meghan are still benefiting from the recognition and status built during their royal years, while using it to support projects that are clearly commercial in nature. Since stepping back in 2020, they've built a powerful media presence: book deals, streaming content, podcasts, high-profile speaking engagements. There's nothing wrong with that on its own, but the question that keeps coming up is this: should royal status continue to open doors if royal responsibilities are no longer part of the picture? And right now, a lot of Australians seem to be answering that question with a firm no. The comparison people are making is sharp. When Harry and Meghan were working royals, their visits had a clear purpose. They represented the monarchy, supported causes, visited communities, and brought attention to important issues. Now, the events tied to this visit seem to sit firmly in the world of celebrity and business. They attract people who can afford to attend, rather than communities that might benefit from their presence. That shift from public service to personal brand is creating a divide that's becoming harder to fix. Some still believe the couple can use their platform for positive impact. Others now see them as capitalizing on a status they chose to leave behind. And right now, more voices seem to be leaning towards that second view. What makes this moment so significant isn't just the petition, it's what it represents. Australia has deep ties to the monarchy. It's part of the Commonwealth with a long history of royal support. So for a country like that to push back this strongly, that means something bigger is happening. It suggests that public patience, even in places traditionally supportive of the royal family, is starting to change. The idea that a royal title automatically brings admiration, funding, and welcome is being challenged in real time. And if Australia is willing to take this stand, people are starting to ask a bigger question: who might be next? For Harry and Meghan, the stakes couldn't be higher. Their entire post-royal identity is built on the idea that they can step away from the institution while still holding on to global influence and attention. But this reaction from Australia is exposing how fragile that balance really is. They're in a difficult position, not fully private citizens, but no longer working royals either. That middle ground was always going to be tricky. What no one expected was how quickly that tension would turn into something this public, this loud, and this damaging. Meanwhile, the royal family is watching all of this very closely, and reports suggest there's real concern about how it all reflects back on the institution. Even if the visit is private, the connection still exists. The titles, the history, the public perception, it's all tied together. And the gap between Harry, Meghan, and the rest of the royal family, it doesn't seem to be closing. If anything, it looks like it's growing wider. So where does this leave them now? They're moving forward with the visit, standing by their claim that it's privately funded. That might address the financial concerns, but money was never the only issue. The bigger questions are still hanging in the air. What is their role now? What do they represent? And can they rebuild trust with a public that's starting to question their intentions? Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about one visit. It's about identity. It's about credibility. It's about whether they can show that their presence brings real value, not just attention. And those are questions no statement can fully answer. Only time and how this visit actually plays out will reveal the truth. What's happening in Australia right now is bigger than a petition. It's a reflection of how people are starting to view modern royalty as a whole. The world is changing. The old rules that once protected royal figures from criticism are fading. Now, even former royals are being judged by the same standards as everyone else: transparency, accountability, and clear purpose. Harry and Meghan stepped away looking for freedom, but freedom comes with exposure, and right now they're facing more scrutiny than ever before. So the real question is this: is Australia making a fair stand about how royal privilege should be used, or is this reaction going too far? Drop your thoughts below, because this conversation is only getting louder. And if you want the full breakdown of how every decision led to this exact moment, the next video goes even deeper into the story behind the headlines. Subscribe Monarchy Cup.